Piggy says, his glasses having been smashed, I'll have to be led like a dog anyhow. So the simile like a dog is the animal imagery. When Piggy is killed, no image for this one, because I didn't want to put an image of a dead twitching pig, but when Piggy is killed, the quotation is, Piggy's arms and legs twitched a bit like a pig's after it had been killed. The simile like a pig. So we've got like a dog and like a pig. So two bits, and there's some more to come later, of animal imagery, really obvious animal imagery now, used by Golding to make the point that the sort of devolution of humanity has fully taken place now, and these humans are animalistic and wild and savage. And again, as I've talked about throughout this video series, one of the big messages that rules and regulations and laws and government and that kind of thing control us and give us parameters in which to live. And if we don't have them, we just devolve into this savage behaviour. Take a look at the dialogue here. Not only is Sam and Eric shortened fully now to Sam and Eric, but look how short and primitive and kind of tribal their speaking is. It's almost like they've lost the ability to communicate. The sentence length in the dialogue in the beginning of the book is much longer because they're sort of civilized, but now they've kind of become animalistic and they're grunting at each other. It's me, Ralph. It's only me, Ralph. We thought it was, really short sentences to show the lack of kind of civilized behaviour. They're sort of tribesmen now with this very primitive grunting. In the, I think we're now into chapter 12, the animal imagery continues. Ralph, when fighting, yeah, this is chapter 12. It says Ralph launched himself like a cat. So, as I say, Golding knows this is the end of his book, and he's really trying to hammer home and sort of really embed now the animal imagery to say, look, they've become savage, they've lost their humanity. Now, of course, the interesting dynamic is that we need government, and we need control, and we need rules and regulations, but our leaders need to be, like Ralph was at the beginning, attempting to be democratic, and it needs to be a sort of a democracy, not that sort of Jack style of leadership, that totalitarian power. One person makes all the decisions and you do what you're told. And one of the big things then Golding says is Ralph wept for the end of innocence, the darkness of man's heart. And this is Golding really just saying, look, this is my message, the innate evil in mankind. And if you're interpreting the religious imagery, the idea the island represents the Garden of Eden, a perfect paradise setting which man is placed on. And yet, in man is that evil, that sin, the fallen nature, that we just, if left to our own devices, we will mess it up. And it's a crazy idea, isn't it? I often think it would be quite cool to go to a desert island. I'd quite like to build a den, a house, and, do all that kind of stuff. But the message from Golding is no, humans are inherently evil. And you see that with children. You don't have to teach a baby or a toddler how to be bad. It knows how to be mischievous, how to lie and all that sort of thing. You have to teach it how to be good. That's what doesn't come naturally. And that's what's come out on the island. Now, the sort of irony at the ending is they get rescued supposedly by this man. But then look at the line. This line at the end, the final line of the book. He turned away to give them time to pull themselves together and waited, allowing his eyes to rest on the trim cruiser in the distance. Now, this is a warship, so the naval officer has in some ways rescued the boys, but where's he taking them? Onto a warship. And the message here is really clear from Golding. Yes, this is what would happen if we put you on a desert island. This is the natural kind of human response. This is human nature, the innate evil, all of that kind of thing, the same as from the Garden of Eden. But we're taking you to the wider world where exactly the same things are at play. We're taking you to the wider world, and in that wider world, we are at war, as represented by the fact that you're about to come onto a warship. So the island serves as a sort of microcosm of society as a whole. It's a very tragic, sort of negative picture being painted, but one that I think I'm inclined to agree with. I hope you found this video series useful, guys. Please do subscribe to the channel. Check out mrbruff.com for all of my revision guides. I've got a podcast on iTunes. What else have I got? That's about it, so check it out.